And I always used to tell people, even in my interviews, that time will tell what's true and what's not. Ultimately, if one was fake, the mask does fall after a few years, right? Time will tell who's who and who lied and who didn't. So मुझे जंगल में जानवरों से डर नहीं लगता, मुझे शहर में इंसानों से डर लगता है.
For all film-related interviews, reviews and content, please like and subscribe to Pooja Talwar. You can also follow me on Twitter and on Instagram.
Well, they say there are some stars who never go out of style and have this timeless appeal. And who better than the ravishing Raveena Tandon? Ye naam
So
joda
sweet
hua hai.
of you. Thank you.
That's why I want to ask you, what is it about you that you just look the same?
I can say the same about you. So when you start giving out your secrets, then I'll tell mine.
Let's just say it's our Punjabi genes. And Zinda
I
Dili.
think I'll tell you that. I can say Zinda Dili because I've seen a lot of, pan India, so many beautiful women. But it's also what you are, I think, within your heart. Like you said, Zinda Dili. आप अगर दिल से खूबसूरत हो, खूबसूरती automatically बाहर निखर के आ जाती है. So you just have to be beautiful within.
So, it's 3 decades. I remember Kiran Khanna, Patthar Ke Phool, with big hoops, that ponytail. And now she's Kasturi Dogra, no nonsense. And you're making your digital debut.
Yes.
And these 3 decades have been rewarding. They've come with their own trials and tribulations.
Absolutely.
But there you are.
Here I am, and I think quite in your face with Kasturi Dogra because she's something who's fierce, who's talented, who's unmissable, and you can't just let go of her. She's all there, and I think that's what is that is so beautiful that I fell in love with Kasturi Dogra myself, and that's where the story began.
And you decided to, you're someone who's gone with the times. You have never shied away from whatever medium, whatever platform. So why did it take you so long to say yes to or were you really waiting for Aranyak?
I think it was kind of destiny because I was offered very good shows as well, and some of them very successful shows today, which some of my colleagues are doing. But somehow there was that something that was not yet there for me to say yes. And then if you see my past lineup of films as well, I've always done something which sometimes strongly and sometimes subtly but surely has always given out a message in society for the upliftment of women. True. I've been talking so much that now my tongue is slurring, sorry. And so that for me is something that really matters, that there has to be a script that completely touches my heart, which I can then portray and probably send it out to the audience there to start making that difference. And that is where Kasturi Dogra came in. This is our small contribution to all those women out there, even those women in uniform and even those women who are out there in any kind of job, chosen profession, the path that they've chosen, any sector, the kind of involvement that they have and the kind of zeal that they have to achieve, to excel in their work, and at the same time, not to neglect their families, to be there for their children, to be there for the first word that their baby says, not to miss the first walk of their child, to just be there as well. And they're always torn. The mother in them is torn, the wife in them is torn, the daughter-in-law in them is torn, to that professional who's intelligent, all out there to try and excel and trying to prove to her bosses that she's probably, if not equal, probably even better than her male colleague.
True.
And she needs to, they have to respect that contribution of hers. So that is where that entire turmoil and that struggle that really, really touched me, and I felt for her. And this message goes out to all those families who probably do not give their women in the family the kind of emotional backing and the kind of support that they need to also achieve their dreams.
Absolutely.
Every woman strives to see that her husband and her children achieve and fulfill their dreams. But what about her dreams?
Absolutely.
Is also the question.
Totally. And that comes across in Kasturi. So, your career graph, I know. Remember when you did Daman and, everybody said, "Kyun kar rahi ho?" Gets the national award for that.
Exactly.
Then she does Satta, "Kyun kar rahi ho?"
Gets film got the national award.
Exactly. And now you're with Kasturi Dogra. But, it's an interesting dichotomy because I watched 3 episodes. First, I couldn't figure out Kasturi for the life of me. And then suddenly I see another facet. Now, she's a woman, as you said, is trying to seek her place in society. She's also seeking validation. Did you draw upon any instances from your own personal life? Because you've been in a cutthroat industry where every day you need validation for your existence.
But I think I'm still one of those few fortunate ones who had a great family backing. Whether it was coming from a normal, stable family background, my parents, they were all fine, not divorced, no problems.
Yeah.
I've had that. They've always my backbone. And then marrying into a family which was as accepting and as supporting, always within my work. Whether my in-laws or my parents always took care of the kids.
Yeah.
Anil has always been a hands-on dad. So there's never been an issue. So like I said, I think I was lucky in that way. And also then letting me achieve what I wanted to. But I, on my own, also actually would like to thank myself for the perseverance and the sincerity and with all the hard work that I put in to achieve where I am today.
Yeah.
So a lot of women end up only thanking everyone else. I do believe in thanking everyone else, but at a certain point you have to stop and thank yourself too, for being what you are and what the inner strength that you have within you to push against all odds and reach and achieve that you have achieved in your life. So never undermine yourself and your capabilities. So that is also very important, and that is the aspect that I did feel that was with me in my personal life as well, which I saw Kasturi also do. And personal life, yes, every career has its ups and downs. Everywhere, till today, things are changing, and I see a great positive change. But it was predominantly a male, oriented industry, and now I see in the past 10 years such a great change, and I'm looking forward to that change.
Absolutely. कस्तूरी की तरह आप खाना अच्छा पका, I mean वो तो खाना बेचारी बना नहीं सकती हैं.
Disaster in real life as well. So whenever I have decided to get into the kitchen and tell the kids and Anil, I'm cooking today, Anil has quickly, slyly booked a restaurant already. So we know that that's happening. So children know, okay, mummy's cooking, we are out for dinner, yay!
चलो ये एक ये
We are out for
similar.
dinner.
But you've got the accent bang on, yeah? I mean, did you observe anyone? You've just got it bang on.
So, you asked me about true incidents, whether I was inspired,
Hey.
but not about with instances that happened to me in my life. But every time when I've, crossed a traffic signal, or there were so many real life Kasturi Dogras that I did meet in Himachal while shooting. And there were so many of them with different stories to tell. So there was this really young cop whom I was talking to, and I was saying, to kaise aap, manage karte ho na? She's saying, nahi, haan, 5 saal ho gaye shaadi ke, lekin abhi bahut pressure hai family start करने के लिए, लेकिन क्या है ना, मेरा थोड़ा प्रमोशन आने वाला है, तो मैं सोच रही हूँ अभी कैसे करूँ. मदर इन लॉ भी बोलती रहती है कि अभी चलो बच्चा होना चाहिए. So these are the small pressures that actually can really create strife also between a husband and a wife and internally with the family. So these are the pressures that all these women drive through. And if you really see, you look at a signal and often wonder what's going on in her mind, where she's actually, guiding the entire traffic in that hot sun, which is probably 40 degrees, or how hot our countries have become these days because of global warming. And that same lady will go back home, help her children with her homework, cook the evening meal for everybody, the dinner, see that her in-laws have eaten, see that her husband has eaten, wash everyone's clothes for the next day, then wake up again early in the morning, go to sleep when everyone has slept. Again, make everyone's dabbas, where the husband is going for a job, give his tiffin, give the children their tiffin, see to it that there's food kept for the in-laws, iron everyone's clothes, and then leave for her own work. And still it's not enough. It's still not enough for everybody. And then she'll go and stand in that hot sun and mind your traffic the whole day. And it's not only for women in uniform that they have to go through just sitting on the desk kind of a job, though that is also tough. She'll again travel in a local train and go and sit behind a desk and again hear the boss ka tanas. But she also, a woman in uniform also has to be very, very alert mentally. Besides the physical strain of catching a criminal or beating up a criminal or running on the streets or guiding the traffic, she has to be all there, because you don't know if the next bullet that's coming has her name written on it.
My God, you've really got it right, man. Nobody better than you to play Kasturi Dogra. That's what I
used to just sit and look at them and wonder. And I feel for them.
Absolutely. And it came across in your performance. I can't wait for people to watch it. Someone who spent 3 decades, it's 3 decades since Patthar Ke Phool as well, managed to survive that. We've seen changes. There are changes happening now. What is the one, when you look back, is there something that you wish you could turn back the clock? Because you are somebody who's seen hits, who's seen some misses, also has been subject to, I mean, आपके time पे जो press लिखती थी, वो तो और आप कुछ कह भी नहीं सकते थे. And you, poor thing, you
You
kept...
couldn't. You were at the mercy of those editors and those journalists.
Absolutely. But you
There was
maintained
no
your
way
dignity
that you
throughout.
could reach out. With you, I don't think. Yeah, actually, maybe yes, I did. And I always used to tell people, even in my interviews, that time will tell what's true and what's not. Ultimately, if one was fake, the mask does fall after a few
True.
years, right? Time will tell who's who and who lied and who didn't.
Managed.
And you'll be shocked, to know that a lot of some of these women editors that I see today who are now not probably editors anymore, but they walk around with this big badge of being, feminists and women's lib. And unfortunately, those same women used to body shame, humiliate, and bring down another woman just because they were probably in love with a hero, or the hero worshipped, or the hero had promised them the next big cover for their next magazine, and they wouldn't give a damn. And you were completely at their mercy. So if they didn't like you, or they just didn't like you, it was a personal vendetta that would happen, and you had no choice. So that's why sometimes I thank the social media that today we have a direct reach. If there's proof about something, here it is, dude, this is exactly what happened, not what they're saying. And if they had to apologize, babe, it would be that one thin line
I know,
below,
jo dikhti nahi
which
thi.
nobody would even bother reading, because once the headline was out and it was on the stands, it had completely villainized you completely.
But kudos to you, yeah, for standing tall, and I mean, they're still
I
thriving.
think all our 90s batch, I think 80s and 90s batch, they went through.
किस मिट्टी से बने हुए थे यार आप
It
लोग?
was like, trial by fire.
Totally. But there's one thing, if you could go back and change other than this, what would that be?
Go back and change?
Change.
I
I mean,
think
some-
the narrow-mindedness of the media. Because I came from a co-ed school, I had an opinion. I thought I had a voice. I came from a co-ed college. I had boys who were my best friends. And I could see that a male and a female colleague journalist could travel in the same auto rickshaw and come and take my interview. But if I had to travel in my male colleague's car, scandal. So I wish I could change that narrow-mindedness that forced us to sometimes live the kind of life that we did not want to.
And also aajkal, ageism, but women are defying it all. What do you think is one change you want to see now?
Well, the change that I want to see now is most definitely a much safer environment, whether it's in our industry or any other workplace, for all our women who are out there. And I would like to see more women in our workplace, in our industry, as DOPs, as camera assistants, as sound recordists, and in probably any field that we have, as editors, as choreographers, as directors. I would prefer to see a lot more women faces, where sometimes now when I look around and I see Netflix, and you'll see a majority of more women there, and it makes me, there's a sense of pride that I feel. So that is a change that I'm really now looking forward to. The other changes are definitely happening. There's a lot of equalizing that is happening now, which is great, whether it comes in contribution of women to cinema, or it is even the pay scale, or it is even being respected, or getting the kind of opportunities and roles that we should. That is already happening. It's on its way. But to make this place a safer environment, and every other workplace a safer environment for women, is a faster change that we need to see.
हो जाएगा. And lastly, your biggest fear क्या है वैसे रवीना टंडन का? जंगल में अगर हो या बाहर हो, वैसे
जंगल
जो
में तो I've never
आपकी
feared.
इंडस्ट्री भी
I'm
जंगल से कम
happier.
नहीं है, वैसे the world we are living in is
So
no less
I
than...
told someone yesterday, and I'll tell you also, मुझे जंगल में जानवरों से डर नहीं लगता, मुझे शहर में इंसानों से डर लगता है.
वो सबको लगता है. Thank you so much. Looking forward to a season 2. And as they say, be it her hoops or her jhumkas, Raveena Tandon is in style forever and ever. The evergreen star.
Thank you. Can I
Such a
give you a big
pleasure
hug?
speaking with you. Yes, of course.
Thanks
Thank
a
you.
lot. Hey,
If you've liked this interview, please like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram.